So it is Halloween, and I was going to do something fun today, and I was going to play a trick on you guys and title the thumbnail or the video something like Mask Off, addressing the rumors or something, and then just have like a complete bait and switch and be like, oh, yeah, I know you guys have totally been asking weird questions that I never get asked and reveal my Halloween costume through that, essentially, because we are all going as different versions of Taylor Swift from the Eras tour. So all of her costuming. And I thought it would be fun to be like, here I am, normal. And then boom, there I am, looking like Taylor with a wig and everything. But I don't want to start that process right now because it is currently 10:23 in the AM while I'm filming that, and I don't need to get my costume on for another like 3 hours before the school festivities begin. So I didn't do that, but it would have been cute and funny, maybe. That's all. I mean, I am going to show you a different type of trick, and that is of the bath bomb variety, and I will tell you more about the tricks that I was dealt in just a minute. But before I do, hello, I am Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, Sudzers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things, and you were here for a week of Mrs. Soap and Clay being bad at things, and it's fine to do that. You know what I mean? I find that it's a very important thing to show your failures, to learn from your failures, help others learn from from your failures, and relate to it in some way. And this is a whole bunch of fails from the Halloween bath bomb molds that Part and Prince set through for the October subscription box, and I was not good at any of them. Like any of them at all. I mean, I guess one of them was okay, the ghost one, but the rest were a complete disaster. And so we're going to talk about it and why I think this went wrong and what I would do to improve them, in the future, as well as just maybe critique the bath bomb molds in and of themselves a little bit because I didn't get them very much. But it's spooky because they're spooky bath bombs, but they also look spooky by the end of it. So let's go to the video and look at all the spooky. Okay, so on to spooky fun. And I totally understand that when you go on to the YouTubes, like I understand why now. When you go onto the YouTubes and you search up, well, I mean, as an example of a, more known, I guess, bath bomb company, Kata Molds, the second thing that comes up is, my video talking about how they're really shady and like to put false copyright claims on other bath bomb mold makers. But after that, tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of tutorials on how to use insert shaped bath bomb mold here. Because I tell you what, I had a time with these. I had a time with yesterday's as well. It was not a good situation for me. It was a little bit tedious, honestly, because the pencils were so small and it was a lot. And that all right, so but keep in mind, I don't actually know how to use any of these, okay? Which, like I said, I understand why there's tutorials out there for these bath bomb molds, but I was working with high humidity, so I decided to go ahead and use, what people have said in these tutorials about how you should never, for shaped molds, for these 3D bath bomb molds, never use water and instead use witch hazel. I'm trusting the process. I'm going to do the thing because, I can be taught and I'm always going to, attempt to do things the way that the people have told me to do them. And in this particular instance, it didn't work. It's 71% humidity, and I'm thinking, oh, water. But water is in most of witch hazel, just for the record. And witch hazel is not a binder; it's a dryer, which we know. But I'm thinking, well, maybe there's something to it, and there's a difference between the 3D molds and the spherical. And so the witch hazel is better than actually for this. And so I did it, trust in the process, and it's okay. Like that works out. I can get it off the thing. Yep, definitely. It worked for sure. The problem with the cat thing is that as I continued on, the bath bomb powder got really, really dry. Like super dry, super quickly because reasons, obviously. We have the witch hazel, which is drying, and since these bath bombs, these molds themselves are so small, I didn't weigh them before I started talking. Hold on. Okay, so the cat is 2.75 ounces. So they're very small. It couldn't really work very fast, and it was kind of difficult to get them out. And I realized that these ones also, they worked great. Those that just, yep, I love those for sure. Like I like these block ones. They're delightful, 10 out of 10. But the cat one, I decided it's probably best to just leave it on its little tray, and maybe I'll do some other ones because I was having a hard time getting it off without breaking the tail off. And ultimately, all of the bath bombs that I was able to successfully get off of the bottom plate, the tail did eventually break off. I am not good at any of this, okay? And I'm showing you guys that I'm not good at any of it, but I'm willing to learn. I'm trying. And so for me, I'm thinking, okay, that's totally great. I love the bars. Those ones are my favorite. I can absolutely do those. But I had a problem, as I said, because of the witch hazel. Everything got really dry really fast. And so ultimately I was working with bath bomb molds that were brand new to me. And so there's a super learning curve. I mean, just putting that guy together, geometry is so hard. That one was hard. But then there's these big plungers that go in. And so I was unclear exactly what I do for this one. And so I worked a whole bunch of different things, and ultimately none of it worked. But anyway, the point is, I'm not familiar with the molds. I don't use 3D bath bomb molds. And so as a result, I'm taking a lot longer than I would normally take for a regular batch of, bath bomb powder. So even if I had, was using witch hazel within my regular spherical bath bomb, see, that just popped right off. What do I do there? It would have been fine because I would have been able to mold the bombs fast enough to not be dealing with overly dry bath bomb powder. And that was not what I was able to do for these. And I don't understand with this. What is this? There's a plunger that only goes to a certain depth. It's not going to plunge the whole thing out. How do it's geometry. This is like 4D chess here. I can't with this. My brain does not work. And I know that there are going to be censors here that are just going to be laughing at the struggle and going, it is the easiest thing in the world. You literally just needed to do X, Y, or Z and not do A, B, or C, and it would have been fine. But for me, when I tell you that I was struggling, it was awful. And for every moment that I was struggling with this, my bath bomb powder is just getting drier and drier. Oh no. It was just getting drier and drier. So by the end of it, I ultimately only had, I don't know, maybe a dozen bath bombs left that were actually shaped. And it was not a good situation for me. So I'm honestly, I don't like, it's a learning curve, like I said yesterday. And that's kind of the point of all of this, is to show you that, yeah, even somebody who's really good. See that? I let that sit for like 10 minutes while I was messing with that bat. And so it was able to get off no problem. But yeah, like I said yesterday, even though I'm very, very good at making bath bombs and I'm very, very good at making soaps, and I've been doing both for a very, very long time, I'm still going to struggle in the beginning of a new process until I really get the feel and the look and the whatever. And so for me, that's going to mean adjusting a recipe to include a better binder, probably polysorbate, which I'm going to try with tomorrow's, recipe. So I'm just going to use polysorbate because that's excellent. And, the witch hazel too, because, like I said, all the shape bath bomb people, apparently they all say that. So we should definitely, do what they say. And I'm going to try it, but I'm going to try it with an actual binder, and that binder is poly, and see if it works out better. But for this, it was just not the best time. And I just sped this up real quick just to show you that again, I did try again with these and it didn't work. The these bats, they absolutely befuddle me. I am so bad at this. I can't even. I need like a master class for sure. But let's go on to the reveal and see what I ultimately ended up being able to get out of 2 batches of bath bomb powder from these guys. Check it out. Okay, and on to the reveal. And so, all right, it's not as bad as I had said. There's more than just, 10 or whatever. The bars, like I said, they did really good. I had zero problems with those. This guy with the details and the getting the tail and everything, that was less good. I felt like I needed a damper batch of bath bomb powder, but a lot of them did take on moisture from the air because it was so freaking humid anyway. So you see all the little warts. Now the warts in and of themselves, they can be fine if you wanted to decorate them or whatever, but ultimately this was such an I'm like these bats are just gonna I can't. I that lives in my head rent free and I can't until I figured it out, it's not going to go away for me. But ultimately it's not terrible, but because these bath bombs were kind of such a disaster and I didn't super love the make process, this isn't something that I would sell because I ultimately just started throwing one color in with the other and so whatever. But the warts in and of themselves taking on extra moisture, that's completely fine. And yes, this is still me trying to manage how that works. I still don't know. It's lost to me. I'm thinking maybe the best way is just to put a whole bunch of bath bomb powder on the ground or on the table and just stamp them out with the plunger part. I think that works great. And so, yeah, there's also, you can definitely, with these guys, you can totally make them all different heights, which could be good or bad, depending on what specifically you're wanting to use these molds for. Bad if you're wanting consistency, good if you're wanting to make little samples. But yeah, as you can see, I took on a lot of moisture, 71% humidity on the day that I was making, and it showed. So I'm just gonna, for funsies, stamp into the thing. I would suggest for these bath bomb molds, maybe like a link to a tutorial on how to use some of them, like the bats specifically. Probably that's the one. Like I figured out the other two, and you've given recipes, so that's helpful. You know what I mean? But for the plunger, I don't know what that one is. I don't know how to use that. And so it would be helpful, would be my only criticism. But again, I understand that I am in the minority in all of this. I mostly only make spherical bath bombs. That's kind of my bag, baby. And so people that are really into making the 3D bath bomb molds, I guarantee you're much better at this than me. But that's because, again, like I said yesterday, you've put the work in, you've done the practice, and that's awesome for you. Now I need to do it. Yeah, I had a time. I had a time with the bats specifically. I cannot wrap my mind around how do you actually use that mold. I have no idea. I successfully got one out, and then the other two that I got out that were yellow were like not quite paper thin, but pretty close. It's befuddling. I don't know what the purpose of those bath bomb molds were, how they're supposed to be. I need a tutorial. I need an in-depth tutorial from Parton. Aside from that, none of them broke. That was awesome. And the cat, it totally works. I did absolutely need some more moisture in that actual bath bomb batch though, but because I didn't use water, because humidity, it was not going to be the best idea. And also because I used witch hazel, the powder dried out and got really bad. And ultimately, it all took on a lot of water from the air anyway, and it was just kind of a mess. And so at the end, I'm not decorating those, but I tried to make them a little pretty, to do the things just in case, because we obviously want to give them to the soap and clay kidlets because it might not look great. I'm obviously not going to sell something like that, but the soap and clay kidlets will love playing with them. So there's that. For tomorrow's video, I am just bound and determined to be good at things, and so I'm going to use Parton Prince's November bath bomb subscription box, and I have it. Okay, so because I have to hold my microphone, I did the unboxing and then I cut all that out, you know? So anyway, we have 3 bath bombs. So we've got this, which is, it's a square. It's a rectangle. Geometry. So this one's actually pretty cool because it looks like it's going to be the bar shape. It looks like it's going to be the bar shape like the ghosts. I mean, it literally is the bar shape like the ghosts. So that's awesome. I know that I'm going to be awesome at that one. So one down. I love to see it. And then we have a turkey guy. So that one will be cute. It's also another flat mold. So I think this one's going to be perfect too. I'm 2 for 2 so far. I should definitely be able to get to the decorating phase with these ones because isn't that the point of doing the 3D bath bomb molds? So you can airbrush and paint and crap on them, you know what I mean? So this is what I'm thinking. And what the heck is this one? And the last one is a pumpkin pie. So that's another flat one. So I love that. That's super awesome. And in addition to that, in the subscription box, I got some acrylic cut shrink wrap openers, which which is important to note with Part and Prints because they don't just do bath bomb like 3D bath bomb molds by any stretch of the imagination. They do a whole bunch of other stuff, like really cool stuff. And so, if you needed some shrink wrap openers to, or some, yeah, to have in your shop as an option for your bath bomb clientele and you shrink wrap your bombs, that's great. I don't shrink wrap my bombs though, and I don't need that for anything, but it's very, very cool. So I'll probably send that to some of the sudsers, because there's 3 of them in there. So that's fun. But yeah, tune in tomorrow to watch me be good at the bath bombs. Finally. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, everybody, happy Halloween. It is Halloween. I have to go. I'm very excited. Halloween is an awesome, awesome holiday. I love it so very much. I love playing dress up. I love doing all the things. And I love that the kids are still super into it and want to do it with me. And so I take advantage of that every year that they continue to allow it. And this year, my nephew 100% put the kibosh on all things family related. He's out with his friends, so they're not even coming down to go trick or treating in the Disneyland uh, trick or treat zone. So it's a bummer. So this might be my last year ever. And I love that we're all going as different tailors, which I hope I put in somewhere. Maybe. I don't know. But like I said, I am out of here. Lots of fun activities. I hope you guys are having the best and most wonderful, Halloween ever. And I will see you guys all again tomorrow for another round of Bath Bomb and hopefully Mrs. Soap and Clay not being bad at things. Soapy fun. Bye.